Imagine stepping outside your home and seeing a towering brachiosaurus grazing on treetops, or hearing the distant roar of a Tyrannosaurus Rex echoing through the landscape. If dinosaurs had never gone extinct, the world would be a completely different place, one where humans may not even exist. The asteroid impact that wiped out the dinosaurs around 66 million years ago changed the course of history, shaping the planet into the one we know today. But what if that impact never happened? What if the dinosaurs had survived and continued to evolve alongside other species? For starters, the planet itself would look very different. Without the mass extinction event, mammals might never have had the opportunity to take over as the dominant life forms. During the time of the dinosaurs, mammals were small, burrowing creatures, often forced to hide from much larger predators. But after the dinosaurs disappeared, mammals rapidly diversified and took advantage of the open ecological niches. Without that opportunity, primates, including our earliest ancestors, might never have evolved. That raises a big question. Would humans even exist in a world where dinosaurs still roamed? Even if some form of intelligent life had developed, the ecosystems we know today would have been shaped in a completely different way. Large herbivorous dinosaurs like Triceratops and Diplodocus would have continued to dominate forests and plains, preventing the spread of large mammals. Apex predators like Allosaurus and Giganotosaurus would have ruled the food chain, making survival incredibly difficult for any smaller species trying to climb the evolutionary ladder. Another key factor to consider is climate. The asteroid impact and its aftermath caused massive climate shifts, cooling the planet and making it inhospitable for dinosaurs. If they had survived, Earth's climate might have remained much warmer for longer periods, which would have dramatically changed the types of plants and animals that could thrive. We might have had a planet covered in dense tropical forests, where massive dinosaurs still roamed freely rather than the more temperate environments we see today. Dinosaurs were already highly adaptable creatures, and if they had continued to evolve, it's possible that some could have developed advanced behaviors, possibly even intelligence. Some scientists believe that smaller bird-like dinosaurs like Troodon were already showing signs of higher brain function before the mass extinction event. Given millions more years of evolution, could they have developed tool use, communication, or even civilization? It's impossible to know for sure, but it's fascinating to think about. One thing is certain, our world would be unrecognizable. The landscapes, the animals, and even the fundamental balance of life on Earth would have been shaped by creatures that once ruled the planet. In the next part, we'll explore what kind of impact dinosaurs would have had on modern ecosystems, and whether humans and dinosaurs could have ever coexisted. Let's imagine a world where dinosaurs never went extinct. Picture yourself walking through a park and spotting a herd of Stegosaurus grazing nearby. In this world, humans and dinosaurs might share the planet, but how would they coexist? The first thing that comes to mind is how dinosaurs would fit into our modern ecosystems. Would they adapt to the urban environments we've built, or would they stay in more natural habitats, perhaps even evolving to thrive in the forests and plains where they once lived? Dinosaurs were incredibly adaptable creatures, so it's likely that they would have evolved to occupy different niches within ecosystems. Herbivores, like the long-necked Brachiosaurus and the massive Iguanodon, would continue to shape plant life by feeding on trees and shrubs, maintaining the balance of vegetation in much the same way modern herbivores do. In fact, their size and feeding habits could have shaped forests, preventing certain types of plants from overtaking others. Larger herbivores might even have formed migratory patterns similar to those of modern-day elephants or wildebeests, helping maintain the health of entire ecosystems. As for the carnivores, it's possible that apex predators like the mighty Tyrannosaurus Rex or the swift Velociraptor would continue to regulate the populations of other animals, just like modern predators do today. With their sharp teeth, claws, and hunting strategies, these dinosaurs would have continued to dominate their respective territories, controlling the balance between predator and prey. But how would this affect the development of other species, including mammals? If dinosaurs remained the dominant predators, mammals would have had to evolve in very specific ways to avoid extinction. Smaller mammals might have remained nocturnal, hiding away from the larger predators during the day. Larger mammals could have become more elusive or adapted to live in more remote environments where dinosaurs weren't as common. It's also possible that some mammals could have evolved to become prey for the dinosaurs, much like how we see herbivorous mammals being hunted by big cats today. But humans, with our large brains and problem-solving abilities, might have found ways to survive alongside these giant creatures. In this world, it's fascinating to think about how dinosaurs could have adapted to living in cities. Imagine large herbivores roaming city parks, or perhaps even smaller species that could live alongside us in urban areas. Could humans have found ways to domesticate certain dinosaurs? After all, we've successfully tamed and trained animals like horses, dogs, and even elephants. It's not too far-fetched to imagine a world where humans might have ridden on the backs of Triceratops or used Velociraptors for hunting. In a sense, we could have lived with dinosaurs much like we do with animals today. But coexistence wouldn't come without its challenges. It's likely that the larger, more dangerous carnivores would have posed a significant threat to human populations. Imagine a world where cities are built with massive reinforced walls to keep out dinosaurs, or where humans have to constantly be on the lookout for predators in the streets. Some cities might even have built giant enclosures to house the herbivores, much like modern zoos do today. But the question remains, would we have found a way to live in harmony with these creatures, or would conflict have been inevitable? One thing's for sure. If dinosaurs had never gone extinct, the balance of life on Earth would be completely different. Humans and dinosaurs would have had to find a way to share the planet, and it's impossible to know whether they would have coexisted peacefully or whether we would have fought for dominance. But as we dive deeper into the what if, we must consider how humans and dinosaurs could have evolved together, learning from each other and perhaps even influencing one another in unexpected ways. Now let's dive into the even more fascinating possibility. How might dinosaurs have evolved over time had they never gone extinct? If they had continued to live alongside mammals and humans, their evolution would have been influenced by the same factors that affect species today: competition for food, environmental changes, and survival of the fittest. Over millions of years, we could imagine that dinosaurs would have evolved to occupy entirely new ecological niches, and possibly even develop traits that would allow them to thrive in different environments. Take the herbivorous dinosaurs, for example. Species like the Triceratops and Stegosaurus were already well adapted to their environments, but with changing climates and shifting landscapes, they could have evolved into new forms. Perhaps their horns and armor could have become even more specialized to fend off predators or to compete for food. It's also possible that herbivores would have adapted to the changing plant life on Earth. If we consider how modern animals evolve in response to climate change or habitat loss, dinosaurs might have developed new strategies for survival. Maybe they would have been more social, forming herds that would work together to protect against the growing threat of predators. Or perhaps some species would have adapted to more specialized diets, consuming plants that only grow in specific regions. On the flip side, carnivores would have been even more intriguing. Imagine the evolution of apex predators like the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Over time, they might have become even more refined in their hunting tactics, possibly developing better teamwork or hunting strategies, much like the wolves do today. Their size and strength would have continued to make them formidable, but as their environment and prey evolved, so would their hunting methods. It's also possible that some species of carnivores might have become more solitary or more social, depending on their environment and available resources. Carnivores might have also adapted to living in different regions, perhaps evolving to thrive in dense jungles, mountain ranges, or even more urban environments. But the most exciting part of this scenario lies in the potential for some dinosaurs to evolve higher levels of intelligence. While dinosaurs are typically thought of as instinct-driven beasts, some species may have developed increasingly sophisticated behaviors over time. We already know that some dinosaurs, like the Troodon, had relatively large brains for their size. What if they had evolved even further, developing advanced problem-solving skills, social structures, or even communication methods? It's possible that they could have developed their own forms of technology or culture. In a world where dinosaurs never went extinct, they might have eventually built their own civilizations or established advanced societies that rivaled early human cultures. The idea of dinosaurs with complex behaviors and intelligence leads us to another fascinating possibility. Could they have developed some form of communication? We already see that modern birds, the closest living relatives of dinosaurs, have intricate vocalizations and social structures. Could dinosaurs have developed a more sophisticated means of communication, like vocal calls or even gestures, to coordinate with one another or to warn of danger? Perhaps they would have developed rudimentary tools to help them in everyday life, like using rocks to crack open tough plant material or creating shelters to protect themselves from the elements. As we continue to imagine this world where dinosaurs are still alive, it's fascinating to consider how they might have adapted to the changing world around them. Would they have migrated to new continents as the Earth's climate changed over millions of years? Would they have crossed paths with humans in new and unexpected ways? Could we have formed a symbiotic relationship with them? Or would we have had to compete for resources as dominant species on the planet? In many ways, it's a world full of unknowns, but one thing is certain. The survival and evolution of dinosaurs would have created a very different Earth than the one we know today. In this final part, let's take a step back and reflect on the broader implications of dinosaurs still walking the Earth today. It's easy to imagine a world where these incredible creatures never went extinct. But the question is, how would they have shaped our history? If dinosaurs had continued to live alongside early humans, would our species have been able to rise to the level of dominance we enjoy today? It's possible that humans would have had to evolve in very different ways, with our early ancestors possibly evolving with the need to be more agile, more strategic, or more communal in order to survive in a world filled with these towering predators. One of the biggest questions in this what-if scenario is whether we, as humans, could have learned to coexist with dinosaurs. Could we have found ways to domesticate some species, like we did with horses or dogs, or would we have lived in constant fear of being hunted down by a Tyrannosaurus Rex, or outmaneuvered by a pack of Velociraptors? Perhaps some species of herbivorous dinosaurs could have been tamed and used for labor, like oxen or elephants today, while others would have remained wild and dangerous. In such a world, maybe our society would have developed entirely new technologies for defense or communication, possibly even creating early warning systems for dinosaur attacks or building stronger structures to protect ourselves from their power. If we look to the past for clues, we see that early humans were already learning to live alongside wild animals, even in the most dangerous of situations. But dinosaurs, with their size and strength, would have presented an entirely new challenge. Could we have developed early forms of domestication for them, like herding certain species to help with farming or transportation? Imagine having a herd of Triceratops pulling plows, or a trained pack of raptors helping with hunting. While it's an exciting thought, it also raises the question of how the ecosystems would have balanced out, and whether the sheer number of large predators might have created a more dangerous environment for humans than we would have been prepared for. Another possibility is that dinosaurs might have developed a type of cultural society, similar to what we see in certain species today, like elephants or dolphins with their size, intelligence, and social structures. It's conceivable that some dinosaurs might have formed groups that could rival human communities in their complexity. These societies would likely have been built around resources like food, territory, and protection from larger predators. Could these societies have been as advanced as human civilizations? It's impossible to say for sure, but it's a fascinating thought to consider. As we reach the end of this journey into the world of what if, we can't help but realize that the continued existence of dinosaurs would have fundamentally changed the course of life on Earth. Their presence would have altered the course of evolution for many species, including our own. It would have created a planet filled with immense diversity, with the possibility of dinosaurs evolving in ways we could never have imagined. Some might have developed new technologies, new forms of communication, or even new ways of interacting with the Earth and its resources. And who knows, maybe humans and dinosaurs could have even learned to work together, creating a partnership that no one could have predicted. The world of dinosaurs never going extinct is a truly wild thought experiment, one that raises questions about survival, adaptation, and the paths evolution might have taken. In this alternate reality, dinosaurs might still roam the Earth today, influencing everything from the plants and animals we interact with to the very way we live our lives. It's a reminder of how unpredictable and amazing the forces of nature and evolution truly are. Thanks for taking this journey into the world of dinosaurs with me. It's been an exciting thought experiment, and I hope it's got you thinking about the possibilities of what might have been. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the what if of dinosaur survival, be sure to leave a comment below with your own thoughts. Would you want to live in a world with dinosaurs, or would you prefer a world without them? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.